Hi guys. I have this little Daikin mini split at my house, and today I'm going to replace it with a larger, more efficient unit. So let's get started. So I start by removing the cover to access the lines and electrical. Then I get my gauges ready and remove the covers from the test port and valve screws. I plan on storing the refrigerant in the outside unit so it can be safely transported. To do this, I need to set the unit to cooling mode. I connect the low pressure hose to the larger low pressure gas line to monitor the pressure, then close the valve on it to block the refrigerant from coming out of the compressor. This causes the compressor to draw all the refrigerant from the indoor head unit and lines and hold it in the outdoor unit. Once the pressure in the lines reaches zero or a slight vacuum, I close off the valve on the high pressure side and turn off the unit. I can now remove the gauges from the unit and replace the caps on the valves. I disconnect the two refrigerant lines and pull them away from the unit. I then disconnect the control and power wires and pull them free. I unbolt the unit from the stand and move it into storage. Then I unbolt the stand from the wall and move the lines for the other unit out of the way a bit to make room for the new unit. So now I need to assemble the stand for the new unit and bolt the unit on top. I then strap it to my dolly and roll it outside. I move the unit into place and roughly level it off. Then remove the line set covers and disconnect the refrigerant lines and drain hose. Back inside, I remove the head unit cover and disconnect the control wires. Then I lift the unit off the mounting plate and pull the lines in through the wall. I remove the mounting plate and wipe the dust off the wall. Now I take the new unit and open it up so I can remove the mounting plate. I mark the center hole location and screw the plate to the wall. I need to remove the bottom cover and pull the lines out. Next is the hardest part, holding the unit up in the air and fitting the lines in the hole in the wall. This is extra tricky because the insulation on the lines keeps gripping the hole and the unit is big and awkward. But eventually I get it set in place. Back outside, I connect the drain line and the two refrigerant lines and cover them with insulation. Then seal off the hole with the supplied sealing clay. I tuck the hoses in and install the upper line set covers. Then I route the lines as best I can and connect both refrigerant lines to the valves. I connect my gauges to the low pressure valve and the vacuum pump. I turn on the pump and open the low pressure valve on the gauge and allow the pump to pull a vacuum on the lines. In the meantime, I work on connecting the electrical. I reconnect the power and control wires and install the covers. After about 30 minutes, I close the low pressure valve on the gauges and turn off the pump. I take a photo of the level of vacuum so I can see if there's any change after time has passed. Back inside, I connect the control wires, close the electrical cover, and reinstall the lower cover. And that's it for the head unit. I head back outside and check the vacuum level, and everything still looks good. I open the low pressure valve slightly and once again take a photo of the pressure on the gauge. I'm going to take a few minutes to put my tools away and clean up and come back to confirm there's no drop in pressure due to leaks. Seems like we're good, so I disconnect the gauge from the unit and replace the cap. I fully open both valves, then do one final leak test with leak detector spray, then wrap the remaining exposed lines with insulation and protective tape. Back inside, I turn the power on to the unit and set it to cooling mode and lower the target temperature. I use a digital thermometer to check the temperature of the coils to see that they are cooling. With that working, I head outside to check the outdoor unit, and everything looks good and sounds fine out here. I then switch the unit to heat and wait until the system switches over. I also set the display to Celsius and turn the target temperature up. Once again, I measure the temperature of the coils to confirm everything is working properly. And well, everything looks good to me. Well, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.